Good afternoon, everyone. Today's class I'm going to discuss about FPGA. So here, what is FPGA and what is the basic structure of FPGA architecture? Okay. So these are the the major important points here I'm going to be discussing here in this class. Okay. So that is what is FPGA. So here FPGA means F is field here. Okay. So the user or designer he can use or he can choose a field here, right? And nothing but next one is P nothing but programmable. So here the designer has to be used or he can reprogram. He can reprogram whatever the device we have. It can be reprogrammable. Okay, the user can be reprogramming by using reprogramming concept. He can modify the whatever the chip is available. He can modify it according to our according to his requirement, according to his task is going to be reprogrammable. Okay, it is reprogrammable, right? Next one is gate. Here nothing but the gate is nothing but logic gates or some of that is a boolean function. All the boolean functions are going to be implemented by using logic gates, right? And similarly array, a is nothing but array. So here nothing but we are going to be see here that is rows and columns. So the number of devices, the number of elements are going to be mapping on the particular field programming area here. That is a group of components, nothing but arrays. Those are independent rows and columns, right? See the field programmable gate array. Okay, let us see here the meaning of this FPGA means is an integrated circuit. It is an integrated circuit which can be programmed by the user, which can be programmed by the user or designer to implement any boolean logic. To implement any boolean logic. Suppose I have one idea, I have one logic here. So based on that logic, I have to write a code. That code is going to be are going to be loaded on the particular FPGA kit. Then only it is going to be operating according to my logic, according to my requirement, right? And then here any boolean logic on components arranged in a rows and columns. Okay, all that whatever we have tried a code, that code is converted into the synthesized list. So you know that synthesize there is a netlist group of logic components. Those group of logic components are going to be placed in a physical design in a particular area, right? That is in the form of rows and columns. So that is the basic meaning of this particular FPGA. Once again, I'm saying here, FPGA means it is an integrated circuit which can be programmed, by user and designer, by the user or designer to implement any boolean logic on on components arrayed in rows and columns, right? So this is the FPGA here. So here they are having different types of vendor FPGA families here. Nothing but those are nothing but one is Xilinx, other one is Actel, and one more is nothing but Altera. So these are the three vendors are producing different types of FPGA kits in the market. Okay, and also here basically we have the programming possibilities for this such a type of different FPGA kits. We are going to follow here three programmable methods. One is SRAM based programming techniques, other one is anti-fuse technology, and third one is EPROM or EEPROM methods. Okay, so here the SRAM based technology is going to be used Xilinx and Actel vendors. Similarly, the anti-fuse technologies are going to be used QuickLogic and Actel. So these are the vendors are going to be utilized the programming methods on a particular required task to modify the FPGA kits. Here, let us see the points here. The first point is the field programmable gate array is a semiconductor device, right? So here it is a semiconductor device that can be configured by customer or designer after manufacturing. Okay, you know that. So the chip is available. It is available in the market. So it is manufactured by the company. That is like Xilinx or Airtel or whatever it may be. Okay, the chip is available in the market. So here, according to our requirement, according to my task, my idea, I'm going to be remodify it. I'm going to be modify it according to my idea. It is going to be working or not. So one of the medium is there by using that is nothing but VHDL language. By using VHDL language, we have to write a code. That is code is converted into bitstream file. That file is going to be dumped into the FPGA kit. Then only it is going to be working according to my task. That's why he says here the first point here is nothing but the field programmable gate array is a semiconductor device that can be configured by the customer or designer after manufacturing. Hence the name is called as field programmable. Okay, hence the name is called as field programmable. The second point here it is FPGAs are programmed using a logic circuit diagram or a source code that is nothing but hardware programming language. Okay, here we can modify it by using logic circuit diagram or source code in a hardware description language. Basically, we are going to be prepared here hardware description language. By using hardware description language, we can remodify the configurable method is available. Reconfigurable concept is going to be applicable in a particular FPGA kit, right? And coming to the third point here, unlike ASIC, you know that ASIC means application specific integrated circuit, which can perform a single specific function for lifetime of the chip. Okay, it is going to be performing a single specific function only. It is only bounded with a specific task. That specific task is going to be performing a complete lifetime of the particular ASIC type chips. So whereas FPGAs can be reprogrammed, it is whereas coming to the FPGAs, it is reprogrammed to perform a different functions. Okay, it is going to be reprogramming, or it is going to be remodified, it is going to be modified. There is a possibility of modification. That modification is going to be worked out by using programming language for the different functions. So the different function means different ideas or different tasks are decided by the users. According to those users' ideas, user tasks, it is reprogrammable, right? This is the basic advantage of this FPGA compared to ASIC, right? Okay, let us see here. So this is the basic architecture of basic FPGA architecture here. Let us observe these are the what are the blocks here going to be we are going to discussing here. So let us, these are the surrounded blocks here, nothing but IO blocks, right? These are nothing but IO blocks. We are going to be making the interfacing. So here we are going to those we can use those IO pads are nothing but for interfacing. Interfacing nothing but for input connection or taking the output connections, right? And coming to, let us see the here the lines, horizontal lines and vertical lines, right? So here we are going to making the connections in a horizontal way and a vertical manner. And one more thing is here, it is the dark, that is the one box here, nothing but it is the switch box, right? It is called as switch blocks. So here we are going to making the connections the horizontal way and vertical way. There nothing but here it is called as interconnection. And here the green, here the like it is light green, here it is looking called as logic box, also call it as CLB, configurable logic blocks. Okay, configurable logic blocks. So let us see here, it has three major components here, nothing but one is logic elements or configurable logic blocks. So these are the CLBs. Okay, this is the CLB block here, also called it as logic block or logic elements, right? And second one is interconnections. So here we are going to making the interconnection in a horizontal and vertical between those CLBs by using switch box, right? Here already I told you in the previous class how we are going to be making the interconnection by using switch box, right? And third one is input and output blocks or IO pads. So here we are going to be use these IO so IO pads here, IO pads here, nothing but input and output pins here going to be interfacing purpose, giving the input as input signal, and we are taking the output signal from the particular FPGA kits. Okay, so this is the basic structure of FPGA. So very important for semester end examinations also. It is very important. One of the important topic here, FPGA architecture, right? So suppose here I want to design and implement a complex design. Suppose it is a full adder. Okay, suppose I want to design a full adder. So my task is going to perform the full adder logic. So that task is going to be implemented by using or we are going to be implement on FPGA kit. So what we can do here initially, So my idea is we are going to be, I am going to be design full ladder. Okay, there are so many logic elements. There is a XOR gate is there, AND gate is there, okay, and a NAND gate is there. So many logic gates are there. So those logic gates are nothing but called as a one configurable logic blocks. Okay, and here initially we are going to write a programming so for this functioning of particular full adder by using VHDL language, right? And the second point is the design has divided into small sub functions. The design has to be divided into small sub function. The small sub function nothing but one is XOR gate, okay, and nothing but other one is AND gate, okay, and nothing but one is OR gate. So all are different logic gates. Okay, the different logic gates are going to be divided in small sub functions. Okay, and each sub block, each sub function is implemented by using one logic block. So one logic block, nothing but CLB, logic element. Okay, and third one is nothing but so here to get required function, to get the required function, all the desired designs modules are implemented. The function in the logic block need to be connected together. So this can be done by using programming method. So here the design is complete design is going to be divided as a small sub function. So those small functions are going to be implemented as using logic blocks. So here we are having different types of logic blocks here. So these are the six. Let us see here. These are the six logic blocks. Okay, horizontal and vertical manner. They are going to be placed in this particular area here. FPGA kit. So we are going to be connected. We are going to be connected between these logic blocks. How we are going to be making the interconnection between these two logic blocks by using one method is there, that is nothing but programming technique. So how we are going to be making the programming concept, let us see in next slides. Okay, so these are the 3 points for the implementation of required task on the FPGA kit. So coming to the lookup table. Okay, so what is lookup table? Here lookup table nothing but, let us see in these CLBs there are different types of lookup tables are available in this particular CLB, configurable logic blocks. So internally it is having some of the logic circuit is there. So one of the part is nothing but lookup table, LUTs, right? So this is the like it is. So let us see here. This is the CLB. Already told you here. CLB nothing but it is having internal circuit diagram. Those internal circuit diagrams are nothing but lookup tables, right? So this CLB, it is having four here. It is a 4-input LUT. This is the D flip-flop. It is the multiplexers, and we are going to be getting the output response, right? So let us see here. It is going to be given the instructions here. A is the 1-bit, B, C, and 4-bit. This is a 4-bit, 4-input bit lookup table. Here we are going to be instructions based on this ABCD 4 inputs. It is going to be 16 instructions. Okay. Let us see here. Those 16 instructions are given to this input of the D flip-flop. Here going to be reset. Its clock is there. If the clock is available, then it is just pass the information from input side to output side. There is directly given to here. There are also one selection line is there. The control signal is there. So based on that control signal, it is going to be performing the output signal based on these instructions, right? So let us see here point here. We need to download the bit stream file. Already I told you, whatever we are going to be implement particular task on FPGA kit, initially we are going to be write a code, write a language, write a program by using one language, nothing but VHDL language. So that program is going to be compiled and simulated and then synthesized and then placing and then converted into bit stream file. All those things are actually we have seen in the last class. Again here we seen here that is a bit stream file. So it is the final stage. The bit stream file is then it is going to be loaded under the FPGA kit. Then only it is the FPGA kit is going to be performing according to our requirement. There are the different configurable modes are there. Actually, okay, in FPGA there are different types of configurable modes. According to the configurable modes, it is going to be converted bit stream file. That bit stream file is to loaded in FPGA programming. That is nothing but is known as configuration. There are different types of configuration mode. Using that configuration mode, that bit stream file is loaded into the FPGA. Then only it is going to be operated as according to performed the function according to our task. Okay. Next point is all the LUTs are configured using bitstream, right? So that they contain the correct values to implement the Boolean logics. Okay. And third one is here by programming we send to the computer instructions code as zeros and ones. Okay, we have write a code. That code is converted into bitstream file. That bitstream file nothing but machine oriented language. That in that machine oriented language only it is having zeros and one. Those are nothing but instructions to code, instruction codes to the computer. Okay, so based on that instructions code, it is going to be perform the task. Okay. Next, switch blocks. So here nothing but the switch box, nothing but here we are going to be making the connection. This is the switch box here, right? We are making the connection in horizontal and vertical lines. There are the different channels. This is the horizontal channel and there is a vertical channel. So these are the routing channels here. We are making the connection between the horizontal and vertical channel here by using switch blocks. So what is the actual internal circuit diagram of these switch blocks? Let us going to see here. This is the switch blocks here. Okay, this is before programming, it is the way here, and after programming. Before going to that, let us see here switch box. Here is an example how a switch box is works. Okay, how the switch box is going to be working here, and here let us see the point here. Each switch box interconnect point has 6 pass transistors. Let us see here. This is the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6 transistors, right? And the pass transistors are driven by configuration memory cells. Configuration by the memory cells. There are resistors. Each resistor it is having a cells. In that cells there is a data. That is data nothing but binary data. Based on that binary information, so these pass transistors are going to be working as on and off state. Okay, if it is on, there is a connection. If it is off, there is no connections. Okay, so that resistor data, the whatever the data is stored in cells, that data is going to be implemented by using programming techniques. Right, let us see here. This is the before programming. There is a connection here. There is actually, let us see, this is the way horizontal vertical lines and horizontal lines. Okay, the shape here nothing but the diamond shape. Suppose let us see, this is the line here. I want to make a connection here. Let us generally we know that we see in last session or last subject. Let's simply just I want to make a connection like this, but internally there is a way. In this way, there is the internal formation like this. Okay, it is the diamond notation. So we are going to be making the connection between vertical and horizontal line by using switching process. So this is the before programming. So after programming, there is a way. Let us see the green lines. This is a green line like this. So the connection is here this way to this way. Okay, and here this is blue line in this way. Okay, and this maroon line like this, and the yellow line like this. Okay, so these are the different connections. After programming, that this is going to be in this way. Let us see this how it is going to be programming. So here we are going to be making that programming technique, that is by using one of the method. We are going to be reconfigurable, but nothing but SRAM, right? So here we are going to be giving that input for this mass transistor here zeros and ones. If it is 0 here, it is going to be act as a open switch. So there is no connection between vertical line and horizontal line. So here I am shown here, right? Suppose here I am going to be apply one is here by using programming technique, then it is going to be acted as a short circuit. There is a connection here like this. Okay, so this is the way here I am going to be seen shown here. That is the way of connection by using after programming, right? So here there is one more signal is there. There is a control signals, read and write control signal. There is the data is there, and this is the configuration control, right? So read and write. Suppose I want to read the data from the particular chip, then we are going to be we are going to signal here read signal. Suppose I want to write the data, I think then we are going to select the write signal, right? So based on this concept, it is going to be making the programmable connection by using through a switch box. So this is a way of making the connection in between horizontal and vertical representation of CLBs in programming methods by using switch box, right? So let us see the points here. To configure the programmable routing, let us look at how the routing circuit works, right? And next point is take the switch block. This block controls the connections between 4 horizontal and 4 vertical lines. Okay, so here the 4 vertical lines here and 4 horizontal lines here. So the switch box is going to be controlling the connection between these 4 horizontal and 4 vertical lines. Okay, so how it is going to be controlling that? This is the internal diagram here. By using MOS transistor, this is a pass transistor. We are going to be giving the input of the gate pass transistor like the zeros or ones by using one of the technique, that is nothing but SRAM based technology, right? And next one is the diamond shaped block is potential interconnecting site here, right? That is the diamond shape is there is nothing but making the connection between this site. Inside the switch block, there is a 6 pass transistor switch. Initially all are off. Initially all the pass transistors are in off condition. So when we are applying the programming technique to make the connection, then only those devices are going to be working according to our programming instruction codes, right? And next one is the gate input of each switch is controlled by the output of 1-bit resistor. That is nothing but 1-bit flip-flop, right? The gate input of each switch is controlled by the output of 1-bit. This is nothing but flip-flop. You know that's why I'm saying here either 0 or 1 is given to this input of particular connection here. So only the 1-bit information is having storage capacity for like a flip-flop, that is either 0 or 1. So suppose based on that instruction, it is going to be making the connection between the horizontal and vertical lines. Next one. So there are 2 kinds of chips here. I think, but one is ASIC chip, other one is FPGA chip. So coming to ASIC, already told you here only the entire lifetime it is going to be working about one of the going to working about one specific task, whereas in FPGA it is programmable. According to our task, it is going to be reconfigurable. It is remodified according to our task. So by using one of the method, that is nothing but programmable method, means it is programmable for various tasks. Okay, so let us see here. ASIC is application specific integrated circuit, and it is chip design of particular application. The chip is designed for particular application, whereas in FPGA nothing but it is a field programmable gate array. So here it is a programmable chip, and a programmable chip can be programmed for here. Okay, the programmable chip can be programmed for required functionality. Okay, so here the FPGA chip is going to be programmed for required functionality. If it is programmable according to our required functionality, then only it is going to be working according to that required functionality. Okay, and it is good for research and development activities. Okay, suppose if you want to research any technology, that is VLS based technology, it is very helpful to. So for research oriented, like generally in VLSI based technology, research is going to be based on some parameters. The major important parameters nothing but area and speed and power consumption. Area and speed and power consumption are the very important parameters is going to be in VLSI design techniques, VLSI design methodologies, and VLSI design research oriented system, research oriented fields. So at that particular case, it is very helpful to us, right?